Coming up on the next episode. Good morning, YouTube. It is 11:15 on this Tuesday morning. I'm here in the, Rush Limbaugh has his Attila the Hun chair. I think mine's not going to be that, but it's something similar to that, and I'm not really sure. Haven't got a name for it yet, but it's my go-to spot for doing things like this, I guess. I'm testing out a new microphone I bought, and I'm going to flash up pictures of that. It's just a cheap one. It's nothing special, but it's nice because it comes with a nice little tripod for it and holder, and it has a nice long cord on it, and it seems to work pretty good from the limited testing I've done so far. But I wanted to do this little thing to see how it's going to really do. So also may do a little bit webcam video as well with this, and let's just go ahead and do that right now. Alright, well, here I am over in OBS now. I tried this with Zoom first to see if I could do that, but apparently Zoom will not record a single person meeting. Not sure why, but it just comes out black. You get the audio, but you don't get any of the video. So I'd have to look on it and see how it does it. But again, like I say, I'm in OBS, so that's no problem. Basically wanted to just see how this looked and sounded with the new microphone. And for anybody that doesn't realize what I'm using for that, let me go show you that real quick. And there you can see that. That's a good idea of what it looks like in real life, as far as that you've seen it in the pictures, but pictures don't always show you how it looks. So that's what it looks like just sitting on the arm of my chair, and so that's how that works. And like I say, I got that a little bit too far the other way. Okay. Like I say, that's what that looks like, and I just basically wanted to do this real quick to see how it sounds and works with a webcam type audio thing. And like I say, usually I use the webcam microphone, but in this case I'm using that microphone over there. So alright, let's go back to Kazam now, and I'm going to show you some things that's coming up on DERB. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now we are back over in Kazam on the screen. 11:38 now is the time. Oh, switched to 11:39. What I want to show you a couple things here. I want to basically, first off, I want to thank everybody for being patient with our 3D printer series, putting that together and going through all the trials and tribulations with me on that, and that's much appreciated. So like I said, that's that. Some of the things I've printed already have been mainly upgrades for the printer. There were several things, I won't say wrong with it, but they were less than perfect, I guess is what you would say. I still have 2 more items to print for it, but I ran out of the test filament, and I want to put in some new filament I bought on Amazon the same time I bought the printer, and try that. Actually, I'm going to use the black, I think, first, and go with that and see how that prints. And so that's what I'm thinking about doing, or not thinking about, I'm going to do it. But anyway, once that's done, the next step is to actually design my own stuff, and to do that you have to use a program called Tinkercad. And Tinkercad allows you to design easily, I'm going to say, because it just works with shapes. And if I can get into it here, I'm going to show that to you. Let's see if I've got it on here. I forget now how you get into it. That's pretty bad, isn't it? I know it's on the what do you call it? Maybe you just type in Tinkercad. I think maybe that's it. Let's try it and see anyway. Yeah, that's it. So there you go. That comes up. This is my there's my design. That's not much, but you know, that's what I've come up with so far. And like I said, it's nothing nothing at all fancy, but it was the start of a knob, and basically I just wanted to you know, see how it was gonna work, because it's pretty easy to do. You basically just start out with a shape, which was the cylinder in this case, and I basically, you know, again, just use that, whittled it down to the size I wanted. Oops, wrong thing. I'm not real great at this. There we go. Basically, that's what I did, and then I put another cylinder on top of it for this shaft, and that was pretty much all I did. So you know, it wasn't nothing spectacular at all. So anywho, the part here that's cut out, that's the hole for the shaft, and like I said, you just use these cylinders and boxes for that. It's the same way, and you do that, and then you turn them into a hole. It's not hard to do at all. Now the thing I haven't done with this yet is actual sizes. I'm trying to replicate the jewel knobs first, and I want to do that before I do anything else, and then that way I can be able to print those out and see what they look like, and then we can go on from there. But you know, many things can be printed with this thing, and the print quality is really good, I think. So like I said, that's what we're going to be doing. I know I just showed the pig is the only thing I've shown so far that I've printed, but I have printed other things as well. Like I said, the upgrades for the printer. There's a knob that I printed out, not this knob obviously, but a knob for the extruder that feeds the filament into the extruder head there, and that's really nice because it allows you to see the actual movement of the filament inside the tube. In other words, when this printer starts printing, it feeds the filament into the print head, which melts it there, and you know, puts it out onto the bed of the printer, and basically in layers and things like that. But it also goes backwards sometimes, and that's easy to see with that knob. You can see which way it's going, things like that, and that helped a lot. The other one I printed up was a Z-axis adjustment for the Z-axis stepper motor, which lets the rod be at a more comfortable angle, I guess is what I would say, for the printer. And I'm looking at it right now. It's not perfect, but it's a lot closer than it was, and I think, you know, and really I think it works really good. So that's the two items I printed for that. Now next thing I'm going to print is a bracket, which allows me to move the spool holder for the filament down on the side, and I may put a picture in here of that. And well, you probably can see it from the title screens or the thumbnails I use for this printer series, how that printer spool was sticking out the side. That's basically what it's for, is to do that, because on top like it is, it seems to want to bind up a little bit, trying to feed into the nozzle hole there. And there are several things you can make which will help feed that, and like I said, but the easiest way is just to put it on the side, I think. So that's one of the things I want to print up next. And the last thing I want to print is the cover for the control panel. Now underneath the control panel there is a bare circuit board, and there is a coverage you can make for that allows you to cover that completely, and that's one of the things I want to print. Now once I get those done, this is where I'm going next, and I will begin in earnest of trying to design something to replicate excuse me, replicate those jewel knobs, and I'm going to be doing a series on that as well. Now, you guys, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, oh, now he's going to go into the 3D printing business and he's not going to work on electronics anymore. Well, no, that's not true. I am still waiting on my pictograph radio. Really beginning to worry a little bit about that. I've never seen the Postal Service take so long on delivering something. And you know, this mic that I ordered here that I'm using, I ordered that I believe Wednesday, and it was here. What is this, Tuesday? And that's from California. So obviously the Postal Service is delivering and doing some of these things fairly reasonably, I guess. But there's really no excuse for what they've done with some of these packages. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people out there looking for packages in the mail. And I have two on the way, that radio and the package that Bob sent with the parts for the AM wireless transmitter. That's supposed to be here. It's been, well, I think it was supposed to be here last Monday is when it was supposed to be here. So that, like I said, these things are really just beyond comparison that, that's taken this long for them to do that. I understand they're having problems. I understand that. But this is really getting on borderline on ridiculous. I mean, like I said, you know when you see, now I can sit here any day of the week and see mail trucks go by here probably a dozen times throughout the day. See them go by on the road, and I know they're out there working. So at what point in the process is the problem? I'm beginning to think it's with the processing plants that actually, the main plants that actually sort the mail for cities and things like that. It almost has to be, because the package for my radio went from Maryland to Evansville, Indiana, which I've never ever seen a package go there. In other words, what I'm trying to say is you see them leave wherever they're at, like let's just say Maryland, it would go to Indianapolis next. And that's the logical route it would travel, because my mail comes out of Indianapolis. Well, why would it go to Evansville? That made no sense at all. And the next thing it went to was Fort Wayne. Again, makes no sense. Why would it go to Fort Wayne? And that's the last I've seen of it. As far as tracking, it just says arriving late in transit. That's all it says. And as far as Bob's package that he mailed me, the only thing on his is at Scranton Post Office, and that was it. It never got no further than that. So just crazy. I hate to start complaining because I know they're having problems. I'm not a complainer. I don't generally complain when I know there's a problem. But at the same time, why are these other packages getting right through? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Only thing I can say is neither one of the packages that are out there I'm waiting for are eBay. The microphone was eBay. Now, and also go along with that, Amazon. My package from Amazon was mailed one day and it arrived the next, basically. So I think the Postal Service is picking and choosing, and I don't think that's the way to do it. You pay a first class rate to get something here or there. It should be mailed, or it should be adhered to. That's the way my feeling is on it, and I think it's the way it should be. And so I think if if they're going to pick and choose. I mean, I understand the Postal Service gets a lot of business from Amazon and eBay. I understand that. I'm not stupid. But at the same time, I think, if they pay actually reduced rates. And I don't know if anybody's aware of that, but they do. If you send something through eBay and you do the packaging and the postage through eBay, you pay a lower rate than if you took that same exact package to the post office and mailed it from there. You pay a good bit of you get a good bit of a savings by doing it through eBay. So those rates are actually less. Now I know there's an increased volume, along with that reduced rate, but at the same time, what's the purpose of the post office was set up for the people. It wasn't set up for eBay and Amazon. So I think the Postal Service is kind of shooting themselves in the foot. And again, that's just the way I feel about it. But that's just my feelings on it, and that's about all I can say about that. But anyway, I've got off on a tangent, and I didn't really mean to, but I'm sorry. But that's the deal. I'm trying to get this done so I can get into this, and I have the parts now for the power supply part of the MFP. I may get back into that, being as I'm not going to get a radio to work on, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get any parts for the AM transmitter. So I'm basically probably going to do the board that I started on the MFP. I have all the parts for that now to do, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and put that together, and that will be ready to go. And then the only thing I'm lacking on that MFP project, and I have yet to find it, is the little signal generator. And I hesitate to really even call it a signal generator. It's more of a function type generator. It's just a really, really cheap one. It kind of went along with that little cheap scope that I've got on there, but I cannot find that. I've looked now several different places that I thought it would be, and I have not run across it. So that's really the only thing holding me up from finishing that project. And until I find that, I'm really at a loss to get it finished. I don't want to finish it all up, paint it and all that stuff, and then have to find that and go through and run all the work I've done. So I want to get that done first and get that accomplished. I have several radios in there to work on that I've ordered and not done anything with. I don't even know if I've shown them on the video yet, but I do have several radios that are going to be coming up on the workbench. So I haven't stopped working on stuff, but at the same time, this was a good project for me. And I told you guys all along on this 3D printer that it was going to be a winter project, and so it's worked out rather well. I think it took up it took up a little time, but at the same time I got it done, and it's working very well. And I want to thank Bob. Bob's taken his time to help me with this, and I know I can be a bummer or a bear sometimes when we're working on things together like that, and I appreciate him being patient with me. But at the same time, Bob knows how things go, and so like I say, it's been working out pretty good. So, all right, well, I think that's going to do me. Like I said, this is just something I want to do. As far as the first thing I do is make this knob, and once I get that, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I have ideas. I've seen some things on videos that I've watched on people using Tinkercad to design different things. One is a right angle bracket. Now, anybody that knows anything about trying to find right angle brackets at Home Depot, places like that, they are difficult to find in the right size. In other words, you can find the larger ones, but the ones that I like to use for projects that are smaller, and I really can't find those. They're hard to find. And so this guy, he's a ham radio guy, and he did some right angle brackets, in plastic, and they actually look pretty good. And I think I may try to make a few of those, and for projects coming up and stuff like that. But so, like I said, there's things to make that you can, and I'm really looking forward to do that. So I think this 3D printer is going to be a really big plus to the hobby, and I'm hoping, like I say, that one of the things I wanted to mention about this printer, and any 3D printer as a matter of fact, the parts are readily available for these. In other words, you really don't have to worry too much about wearing them out or anything like that, because you can get any part on there, and to replace if something does wear out or something like that, and they're replaceable. So it's easy enough to keep it in shape, and like I said, keep it printing. So the biggest problem I'm going to have is storing my filament in a proper fashion, and they have to be stored in Ziploc bags to keep the moisture out. And I've got a plastic container ordered. I found one online that will fit these spools pretty good, and I've got that ordered, and I'm going to be able to keep that underneath on the bottom. That's one of the reasons I bought that particular stand or cart or whatever you want to call it that I bought at Harbor Freight, and it's got space at the bottom, and then there's a tray in the middle underneath the top tray that can be used for tools and things like that. So that's one of the reasons I got that. Besides being a very stable base for the printer, it is very handy to be used. And I plan on putting this, as I think I've said, in my bedroom, away from basically everything, over in the corner by the shelf. And it's going to be, I'll have a plug there, a power plug, and basically it's just going to be sitting over there in the corner. And if I want to print something, I can go put a card in it, a SD card, and with the design, print the design, and walk away from it. I shouldn't have to baby it or babysit it, and I really haven't done that so far. The last thing I printed, which is kind of funny, was that extruder knob, and I came back in, and yeah, it was done. I was in the other room doing something. I forget now what I was doing, but came back in and it was done, and I thought, well, that's good. So I got to looking at it. The filament had broken. There was probably maybe 2 or 3 inches sticking out from where it feeds into the extruder, and it had broken there. So it finished printing and had broken right at that point, which was kind of funny. But like I said, it worked out perfectly, and like I say, you really don't have to normally worry about stuff like that, and I won't have to once I get that side spool feeder. That should let that feed a lot easier, and I'm really looking forward to having that. And so that is the next project on the 3D printer, and I will show you the finished product. I'm not gonna bore you with the prints. I know Bill gets bored. I'm sorry, Bill, but I wanted to do this, and there are some people that was interested in seeing. So again, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going, and hope you guys enjoy the ride, and we'll talk at you later. See ya!